Oh, I didn't see you there. Over the sound of the destruction of our society. Here's the thing. Our society is crumbling. One of the most distressing things about how it's crumbling is the distinct lack of forgiveness. There's no allowance for repentance or change. One must seemingly be born into a lifetime full of whatever ideology is mainstream. And if there's anything in their past that might be even misconstrued as not aligning up with that ideology, they must be destroyed. That's seemingly what we're moving towards. And if you are found out to not be 100% in line with the thinking of the mainstream ideology, and you don't hold to the party line, you will be destroyed, and you will beg for forgiveness, but it won't be given. You will go to all the classes, and you'll learn how to be anti-racist, and you'll learn how to spot systemic racism and get rid of your whiteness, or get rid of your homophobia, or your transphobia, or whatever the thought crime that you've committed is called. It reminds me of a play I saw once, written by Arthur Miller. It's called All My Sons. If you don't know who Arthur Miller is, he's most famous for writing plays like The Crucible, Death of a Salesman, and A View from the Bridge. Two of those are kind of about this idea. I mean, one is literally about the Salem witch trials. The Crucible. You might have read it in high school, or if you didn't, I fear for your education wasn't quite up to snuff. A View from the Bridge is about people selling out their friends because they were communists. You see, he was a writing partner and producing partner of Elia Kazan, who's a great film director and writer in his own right, who made a better story called On the Waterfront. Great movie. But you see, after Elia Kazan testified in Congress, naming names in the House Un-American Activities Committee, basically saying, I think these people were communists, he and Arthur Miller parted ways. And then eventually, Elia Kazan found himself on the end of a Hollywood blacklist, as it was terrible to, call out communists. There was no forgiveness for him. He was offered none. He probably didn't want any, didn't think he'd done anything wrong, and that's up for you to decide. But let's get back to Arthur Miller, right? Arthur Miller wrote a play called All My Sons. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to spoil the crap out of it right now. So that's on you. It's from 1946. That's older than us, older than the people watching this, most likely. So if you haven't seen it, that's on you. Just pause this. I'd say buy a ticket, but the chances of it being shown in your local area right now are slim. But there was a film adaptation, so seek that out. So All My Sons. It's about an American family. An American family whose son went off to war, at least one of them, and died in a plane crash. And it turns out, over the course of this play, you learn that the father of this family knowingly sold defective engines during the war. Defective engines for planes that ended up killing his own son. At the end of the film, there's no forgiveness offered from the people around him. His own son is going to cart him off to the authorities, turn him in. Nobody seemingly can understand the guilt he might be having. He did wrong. And so, he says, I just need to go inside. Before we leave, before you turn me in, I'm just going to go inside real quick and take care of something real fast. The character walks into the home, and you can't see them any longer if you're watching it in a play, in the theater. Then boom! A gunshot rings out. He kills himself because there was nobody offering forgiveness. That's our society right now. There's people that aren't even doing anything wrong. They're saying wrong things. They're doing wrong actions. Doing truly heinous acts. They've got the wrong ideology. Therefore, they must be destroyed, and there is no forgiveness. We can see plenty of examples of this. As recent as last month, the host of a television program that I've never personally seen, but a lot of people have, The Bachelor, did the unspeakable crime of saying, why don't we give people grace? That's what he said. He didn't support racist ideology. He didn't even do the allegedly racist thing of going to a party themed around the 1800s South, the 19th century South. He didn't even do that. He was just saying, hey, somebody did that, let's give them grace. Let's be a gracious society willing to forgive people. And that was one step too far, and he found himself canceled. Unlike the father who went upstairs and killed himself and all my sons, he bowed the knee and he begged for forgiveness. He's not going to find it. He's being sent to re-education classes and learning about all the terrible things he's done by saying, let's have grace for people. He must learn that you can't forgive people. You can't have grace for people. That's absurd. Forgiveness will not be offered. Sin will not be tolerated. If you sin against the party, you will be thrown in the gulag. That's the society we're in. So when I say society is crumbling around us, that's why. There is no place for forgiveness. There is no place for education or actual learning. One must be indoctrinated into the ideology of the party. In this case, the party is this unholy marriage of the media, big tech, and leftist politics, who will destroy you. They will remove your ability to own your own business, to run your business how you see fit, to make money. They'll take away your ability to bank at their institutions. They'll take away your ability to host your website. They'll take away your ability to feed your family if they can. And let's say this, maybe you have a shop, maybe you have a store somewhere or a restaurant. It's not just online that they're going to destroy you, because they will destroy you online. By going to your Yelp page and leaving terrible reviews calling you a racist, destroying you, bad-mouthing you, because there is no place for forgiveness. You must be destroyed. Just like in Soviet Russia. Soviet Russia. You will be thrown into the gulag for the crime of saying something wrong. The crime of going against the party. And what happens? What happens when people's reactions aren't to bend the knee or to give the middle finger? When they're faced with destruction, societal, cultural destruction of themselves. When there is no forgiveness offered for their apparent wrongdoing. And there is no hope. There is no place for repentance. Forgiveness. And so they walk upstairs and they take out the gun and they shoot themselves in the head.